We're rolling.
Super.
Um, Here we are. I think we're going. I think we're live. I think we're functioning. We should be going. All right. Good
Cool.
morning. Good
Good
morning. Good
morning.
morning. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm wonderful.
Well, there was tension right before we started, right? I don't
Hmm.
know if people always see that when you see a Facebook post and you see everybody smiling and happy, they don't know what was going on right before the picture and right after the picture. Well, right before the picture, there was tension, right?
I'm pretty sure they can usually see my tension when I have it. I
Well, I
try to
apo-
hide it, but it doesn't do very good.
I apologize for creating tension. I was I was flustered and Rebecca was feeling it. So, isn't that about right?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Yep.
how it works. All right. Well, Rebecca, good morning. Excited for this subject today. What do you have going for us today?
Um, so our excuse me, our discussion this morning is something that I heard yesterday on a podcast that I was listening to.
Okay.
And it said some of the or four of the most powerful words in the English language is I changed my mind. And
Mm,
so, I want to have that discussion that I'm sure there are things that we've been told or taught or heard for many, many years. And we've just always, well, that's the way it is because that's what I was taught and that's what I was told. And diving deeper into some of those subjects, you have the ability, the right to say, hey, yeah, I don't think like that anymore. Um, I have changed my mind. And this goes a little bit deeper than just, oh, I want tacos for supper. No, I want seafood for supper. Well, how about? So this goes a little bit deeper than that, but it's okay to change your mind.
mm. Yeah, it is. So, is it okay to change your paradigm?
I guess you're gonna have to.
Well, so if you think about your belief system, you think about, what you've grown up believing, whether it be about money, church, anything of that nature. Tie that in a little bit. Well, it's a lot of what we talk about with the disc, right? Where does that come from? Where does your belief system come from? Where do the things that you make decisions with based upon the past that you've grown up in and the beliefs that you have, your conscious thought with a lot of your subconscious belief system will create a paradigm, and it's a specific way of thinking. And what you're saying is we can change that.
Well,
Probably
yeah,
should change that.
and I think it will change your paradigm. I mean, when you think about changing your mind, it's not in one specific area.
Mm,
How many people have grown up thinking, I mean, I was there for a long time, that I was never going to amount to much. Um, I was never going to get far in life. I was um, just
mm,
going to be um, what it was. And the more that I learned and the more that I found out that I have value and worth, um, the more I changed my mind on that belief that about myself. There's been, how many times have you had a belief about a person that you've never met, that the only reason that you have a belief about that person is because of what people have told you? And you meet that person and you're like, oh my gosh, they are wonderful. They're, this fabulous person. And you changed your mind. You may have had a belief about somebody for a long time because of a reason of your own. And then the more that you grow yourself and the more that you dive into who they are and loving people, it changes. So I do believe it has changed your paradigm and your course and where you're going and where you're heading. So, and
Yeah.
that's what Monday Mind Shift is all about. It's not that
Yeah.
we're, all of these things that we talk about is not that we're trying to indoctrinate anybody and say this is what you need to believe. These are the things that we believe or the discussions that we have, and for you to understand that, you have to dig deeper into it.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
by changing your mind or changing your thinking, it's not just because somebody said, oh, that's not right, this is right. Because here again, then you're going off of somebody else's thinking. But you need to take the time and dive a little deeper into it and think a little deeper into it. um, there's many times that you and I have discussions around particular topics, and we both strongly feel a certain way about it. Um, and then by the time that we finish having communication on it, it may take a while, it may take a couple conversations on it, that one of us go, I guess I never really looked at it like that. I guess I don't feel that way about that anymore. And it's okay. It's okay to change your mind after you've heard everything out, I guess.
I don't think that's a guess. I think that's how we should be about everything in life, right? I mean, we should be seeking. Well, go back to what we really talked about when we started 3i Life. Seek truth, gain wisdom, serve others, and there's that should be a process that everybody should desire, right? Seek truth to gain wisdom. And why do we want to? What's going to make a fulfilling life? Being a servant to serve other people,
Yep.
and that's what's going to create a fulfilled life. So if you're seeking truth for the purpose of gaining wisdom, that brings such a value to your life. It's crazy. I mean, if you really think about it, it's just really really awesome. It's crazy awesome what that will do to your life if you're seeking truth to gain wisdom. If you're seeking truth to win an argument or win a case or to do this or that and the other, if that's the only reason that you're seeking truth, you're going to have a hard time being fulfilled. But if you're seeking truth and it changes your mindset, it changes how you think about something through that process, man, that's a win. That's a major win. That makes
I think
sense?
it does. And I think one of the things that we have to remember, sometimes talking about other people or looking at other people or seeing other people, we have a almost a judgment. But the thing that we always have to remember is we have no idea what somebody's going through. We have no idea what their life has been like or what their life is. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and gaining that wisdom, when we work with people, there's a lot of beliefs that I have that I you and I struggle with discussing because it's just the way that I feel about things. And but working with people, you meet people of all walks and areas of life, and just taking away that um, stigma and putting in there, we have no idea what they've been through. We have no idea, where life has taken them, and we have to be able to not hold that against them. Um, you can change your mind about where you want to go. I mean, we always talk about setting goals, which we call them growth steps now, but maybe a half a year later, you're thinking, that's not really what I want. I want this. I want this instead, or I would like to do something different instead. And you know what? It's okay. All the decisions and the choices that you have made and the beliefs that you have are not set in stone. You are,
When it,
go ahead.
is there ever a time when it's not okay?
No, I don't think so.
I think I would have to disagree with that on some terms. Because
Okay.
if
Well, I'd
you,
like to hear your
huh?
thinking. I'd like to hear your logic on that.
Well, selfishness, right? If you change your mindset or you change your mind on something and it's for selfish gain, if it's for, selfish purpose, if it's to, you know, do something that's not in the benefit of the whole. I've seen business owners completely lose their businesses over this because they change their mind about the way that they deliver a product or they provide a service or this and that and the other. And I think that should be tested. I think you should be willing to test what you're changing, how you're changing your belief system. Because I've seen a lot of people out here that will teach something. Some of them are big names out here in the industry, and they'll teach something about how to gain wealth and money for yourself and all this stuff for yourself. But we never hear from their clients. Never hear from their clients how the clients are winning. And I think the way that if we start changing our mind about selfish gain and selfish success, I think that should be tested. I mean, that should be challenged. And I'm not sure that changing our mind to something that benefits an individual as a whole versus benefiting the whole. I personally don't agree with that.
But
Right.
here's the thing. Whatever they're doing with their business, whether it's good or bad, is up to them, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
And it's
but
up to
they
the
have every
customer to work with them. Right. I guess that's right.
absolutely. And it's their right to change their mind. You know, it's their right to do it differently. Whether they took a company and started out as, we love people, and the company turned to, you got to sell more products. I don't care what the people say. They have every
Mm,
right to do that. Is it right?
yeah.
Probably
That's probably
not.
more
And
of a that's probably more of a moral opinion, right? Is it right or is it wrong? They have the right to do
absolutely.
so.
But they do have, you know, I sit there and say it's okay to change your mind because it is. Is it okay to do something harmful, or it goes back to the we wake up every morning and get to make our choices.
Yeah.
We wake up every morning and we get to choose what we do, who we talk to, what we listen to. We get to choose everything. We get to choose to change our mind. What happens after we do that is the consequences, or you know, the product of that change, whether it be good or bad. But we do have the option to do that. We do have the option to change our mind. So,
Well, everybody does, right? I mean, like you said, every morning we wake up, we get the opportunity to choose,
yep.
and that's a fundamental truth in our lives. And we get to choose what we eat, we get to choose what we drink, we get to choose where we go, we get to choose what we read, what we listen to, who we learn from. We get to choose every single thing in our life. So if we make the right choices, we're going to get the right outcomes. If we don't make the right choices, how can you expect the right outcome? I mean, isn't that fair to say?
I don't know. I guess I would have to.
Well, if you
We
don't if you don't agree with that, then you rely something on circumstance. You rely on something else, I guess. If it's not your choices that got you where you are and the choices that will take you where you want to go, or the choices that you make to, maybe they don't take you where you want to go. You hope to get somewhere, you want to get somewhere, but you don't make the choices to get there. It's like, hey, I'm going to make a trip to Oregon. We're going to go spend a week on the Oregon coast, and you've got this whole big dream of being there, but you don't line up a cabin, you don't line up a hotel, you don't make the travel plans, you don't set aside the money, you don't do the work that's necessary to spend a week in Oregon. You're not going to get the success that you want, right? And the same is true in the journey of life. If you're not going to make the decisions, the choices that are conducive to getting you where you want to go, how can you expect to get there? Right? So maybe there is a point where you have to change your mind in that process. You have to change the way you think about a certain thing because, to be quite honest, if you don't change your mind, you won't get to where you want to go,
Well,
you
absolutely.
know. And
And just
that's
like I
that's something that, go ahead.
talked at the beginning of this, with me personally, I had to change my mind on how I saw myself. I
Hmm.
mean, I had to. And the things that I wanted. I know the things that I want in my life. And yes, I had to change my mind on what I do every day to get there. And
Yep.
I've stated this many times. I'm better than I was, but I'm not where I want to be yet. And I'm getting there. But I have to
And
change my
that
mind
right there, go ahead, go ahead.
on what I watch. I have to change my mind on what I read and spend time doing. I have to, um, and it's okay. It's
Hmm.
okay to do that. So,
Well, and that's the part that I don't know if a lot of people really understand this, that if you don't change your mind, in fact, there's a saying out here. I keep looking down at the screen here. We're trying a new platform, a new a new live streaming
we
system. I'm just
changed our
watching
mind.
the we changed our mind. Somebody else changed their software, which made us change our mind. So
Yeah.
that's how that worked. So anyway, we will, we're going to work through this. We'll get our new software up and running properly. But it is one of the things, Rebecca, when I see what's really going on in people's lives and I see what's happening, even in my own life, it is very easy to say, well, I didn't get what I wanted. I didn't get my goal. I didn't make my growth step because that didn't happen, or the environment was off, or this was off, or that was off. It didn't work in my favor. I I know you see that. I see that all the time. And yet at the same time, when it didn't work for that person, it worked really well for this person over here. This person over here who, in the same environment, the same economy, the same world, the same days, the same hours of time, it worked for this person over here, but it failed for this person over here. And when you really get down to it, it comes down to choices. It comes down to choices. It comes down to the choices that the people made. It comes down to the attitude. Your attitude determines your altitude. And that's a big step that people don't realize, is when your attitude is right. When your attitude is right, your altitude continues to grow. You continue to get things right. Why? Because the base of your conscious thinking is right. The base of your foundation of thinking into life is right. When your attitude is right, your base of thinking is right. When your attitude is poor, your subconscious thought and your conscious thought is always going to revert to poor, negative. And you cannot accelerate when you're on a negative dive, when you're in a negative space, a negative environment of thinking. It will not happen. I mean, it defies all laws of physics. And a lot of people don't realize that the law of attraction is that very thing. It's that very thing. So you choose how you're going to respond to economy. You choose how you're going to respond to tough situations, to financial situations, medical situations, environmental situations. You choose how you're going to respond to those things. And when you choose in a specific way, in a group of systems, you'll get a specific outcome. It's the cause effect equation in life. You can't break it. And you can try, but then people who don't get there, they'll blame that. They'll blame this. They'll blame that person or that company or that thing or that experience or that circumstance. They'll blame everything instead of looking at themselves in the mirror and say, what could I do differently? This happened. I can't change that. What should I do differently? What can I do differently? What will I do differently as we move forward? And you just don't go there, and you don't allow yourself to go there. You just state it clearly and you move it ahead. That's some of the things that I've learned over the years. It's like, how can I change me to get that outcome that I really want? And in the last 6 months, that's really been a heavy focus for me. It's really been a heavy focus, and I think you've been there through that journey with me. And it's something that I've looked outside of myself for way too long, and it's time to change my mind and get focused.
Well, I
Right?
kind of want to make a point of something. When we do change our mind, no matter what it is, there's new bugs. You know,
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sitting here looking at this new software that we switched to. We have bugs. We have new things to work through. Your voice has changed like 5 different times the entire time that you were talking. You go
Really.
from
So
being
my
fine to you go from being fine to sounding like you're in a box to sounding like a robot to
okay.
uh, it has changed. It keeps coming in and out. Your picture, your video of you gets really, really blurry, and then it comes. So I don't know if it's internet or, but there's bugs. There's bugs to be fixed. If you make the decision to maybe you're working somewhere you don't want to be, and you want to go back to school and do something else. That's great, but it's not like that is the answer to everything, because now you have new bugs. You have to, maybe you're working during the day and going to school at night, so that's taking more of your time, or something. But whenever you do change your mind, you just have to remember there's new bugs. How many times have we talked to people, and we'll be having a discussion and they'll say something like, well, that's not what you used to say, or that's not what you used to stand for. No, but I have done some thinking and some searching, and I don't feel that way anymore, or I look at it differently now. So just remember, absolutely you have the right to change your mind on whatever it is. If you decide you're going out for tacos and then you get there and decide you want to go for seafood, it's okay. Just remember, there's new bugs. Absolutely you can work through them, but we have you have to get through the bugs, the new bugs. So
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. All right. Well,
so
this has been interesting. According to what you're seeing on your end, we've got bugs to work out on our new software. But no, Rebecca, I do appreciate it. Appreciate you being here and bringing up this subject. It's driving home for me the importance of choosing well. And the importance of being willing to change my mindset, do a mind shift if I'm not getting the outcome that I really want.
Yep.
And I still would challenge everybody. It's going to begin with your attitude. If your attitude is such that, oh, that doesn't matter, whatever, I don't get to make my own choices. I go to work, I work for somebody else. I don't get to that's bunk. It is. Your attitude towards everything is going to make a difference, a massive difference.
Yep.
One of the things that John Maxwell says is, John will tell you that your attitude is not everything, but it's the main thing. He'll say it's not everything, but it's the main thing. And when you realize that it's the main thing, it's absolutely critical that you get that main thing right. And then the other components start to come into play. So you could say it's everything, but at the end of the day, there's so many other things that go with it. So it is indeed the main thing.
Did you just see the balloons that floated past your head?
I wasn't watching. Where were the balloons? Did we have
I don't know.
balloons?
You got balloons that
We got balloons. Very good.
I don't know if this thing picks up.
Oh,
I don't know.
this is a quote from Brad Forkner. He says, attitude is everything." He says he carries that in his pocket on a coin. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love that. Love it. Love it. Love it. Good stuff.
All right, guys. It's 7:01, so we're gonna clock out for the week. And
Yep.
next year or next week will hopefully be a little step better than what we were this week.
We'll keep working on it. All right. God bless everyone. Make it awesome.
Bye.
See ya.